Have you ever wondered why Russia, the world's largest country, is such a land of contrasts? This massive nation, spanning 11 time zones and 2 continents, is an enigma wrapped in a riddle. Russia is a paradox, a fusion of the old and the new, the East and the West, the wild and the tamed. It's a land where the vast wilderness of Siberia, a place synonymous with icy desolation, coexists with the vibrant cosmopolitan energy of cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg. Imagine the frigid Siberian tundras, home to hardy wildlife and even hardier people. These snow-covered plains stretch out seemingly forever, a testament to the indomitable spirit of nature. Yet these remote areas are only one facet of this diverse country. Now picture the buzzing metropolises, the heart of Russia's urban life. Moscow, the capital, is a city that never sleeps. Its streets pulse with energy, its skyline is dotted with skyscrapers, and its subways are filled with the hustle and bustle of daily life. St. Petersburg, on the other hand, is a cultural treasure trove, filled with architectural wonders and artful masterpieces. Yet Russia is more than just its landscapes and cities. It's a nation with a rich cultural heritage that has left an indelible mark on the world. Russian literature, from the poignant prose of Tolstoy to the intricate narratives of Dostoevsky, has touched hearts and minds across the globe. Its music, from the classical compositions of Tchaikovsky to the modern beats of pop culture, resonates with emotion and passion. Russia's impact isn't confined to the arts. Its scientific and technological contributions have shaped our world, from the first man in space to groundbreaking advancements in various fields. But to fully grasp the essence of Russia, one needs to delve beyond the surface. The country's soul lies in its history, its people, and its traditions. It's a complex tapestry, woven with threads of triumph and tragedy, resilience and revolution, heritage and hope. Now, to understand Russia better, we need to dive into its intriguing history. Our journey begins in the 9th century with the East Slavs, an intriguing tribe of Old Europe. These Slavs, with their diverse cultures and traditions, laid the foundation for what we know today as Russia. The East Slavs were not unified under a single ruler, but instead were organized into tribal communities, each with its own chieftain. But as time passed, these tribes banded together, forming a federation of various territories and principalities. This federation came to be known as Kievan Rus. The Kievan Rus was a vibrant and prosperous federation, with Kiev as its capital. It was a significant trading hub, where goods and ideas from the East and West intermingled. This period was considered a golden age for the East Slavs, but it was not to last. In the 13th century, a storm swept across the Eurasian steppe, a storm called the Mongols. The Mongol invasion was a catastrophic event for Kievan Rus. The once thriving federation was shattered, and the Mongols ruled with an iron fist. The Mongol yoke, as this period is known, imposed a heavy tribute on the East Slavs. But it also brought about significant changes. The Mongols introduced a centralized system of administration, which influenced the political structure of Russia for centuries to come. However, amidst the turmoil and hardship, a new power began to emerge. Moscow, initially a small town on the outskirts of Kievan Rus, started to rise in prominence. It became a refuge for people seeking protection from the Mongols. The rulers of Moscow, the Muscovite princes, skillfully maneuvered their way through the Mongol politics, gradually increasing their power and influence. By the 15th century, Moscow had become a significant political center, capable of challenging the Mongols. The rise of Moscow marked a new chapter in the history of Russia. It represented a shift from the fragmented tribal communities of the East Slavs to a centralized state. Moscow's ascendancy also set the stage for the formation of the Russian Empire, a story that we will explore in the next scene. Enter the Tsarist era, a period of absolute monarchy, grandeur, and immense social change. This era, also known as the era of the Tsars, spanned several centuries of Russian history, from the 16th to the early 20th century. The period was marked by the rule of powerful monarchs, the Tsars, who left an indelible mark on the country's history and culture. The first Tsar, Ivan the Terrible, ascended to the throne in the mid-16th century. He was a complex figure, both a reformer and a tyrant. His reign was marked by vast territorial expansion, but also by brutal repression and the establishment of a police state. Then came Peter the Great, a towering figure in more ways than one. Standing at over 6 feet, with a voracious appetite for learning and reform, Peter ushered in a period of modernization and westernization. He wanted Russia to be a European power and worked tirelessly to achieve this. He moved the capital from Moscow to St. Petersburg, a city he built from scratch, and introduced numerous social and military reforms. Following Peter, we saw the reign of Catherine the Great, another powerful and reform-minded ruler. Under her rule, Russia expanded further, becoming one of the largest empires in history. She was a patron of the arts, sciences, and education, and her reign is often referred to as Russia's Golden Age. However, the Tsarist era was not all gold and glory. There were profound social changes, yes, but also great social inequalities. The vast majority of the population were serfs, bound to the land and to their masters. The wealth of the Tsars and the nobility contrasted sharply with the poverty of the masses. Despite the grandeur, the Tsarist era was a period of deep-rooted social and economic issues. The divide between the rich and the poor, the nobility and the serfs, grew ever wider. This brewing discontent eventually led to the revolution in the early 20th century, marking the end of the Tsarist era. Though grand, the Tsarist era was not without its turbulence, leading to the revolution. The winds of change swept across Russia in the early 20th century, birthing the Soviet Union. The Russian Revolution, a pivotal moment in history, marked the end of an era and the beginning of another. The year was 1917. The Tsarist autocracy, burdened with the weight of World War I and internal strife, gave way to a new form of government, one that would shape the course of the 20th century. The Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, seized power, promising the people peace, land, and bread. This marked the end of the Tsarist era and the birth of the Soviet Union, a state built on the principles of communism. The Soviet Union, a new superpower, was a significant player on the global stage. During World War II, it played a crucial role in the Allied victory over the Axis forces. The Red Army, with its unwavering resilience and relentless pursuit of victory, managed to push back the invading German forces, forever marking its place in history. Following the war, the world found itself divided into two major ideological camps: the capitalist West, led by the United States, and the communist East, led by the Soviet Union. This marked the beginning of the Cold War, a conflict not fought on the battlefield, but in the realms of politics, economics, and ideas. The Soviet Union during this era made significant strides in science, technology, and space exploration. The launch of Sputnik, the world's first artificial satellite, and the journey of Yuri Gagarin, the first man to orbit the Earth, were proud milestones in the annals of Soviet history. However, the Soviet Union, despite its accomplishments, was not without its challenges. Economic difficulties, political repression, and a growing desire for freedom among its people led to a period of stagnation and eventual collapse. In 1991, the hammer and sickle flag was lowered for the last time, marking the end of the Soviet era. The Soviet Union, a superpower, eventually collapsed, leading to the Russia we know today. Post-Soviet Russia, a nation reborn, yet carrying traces of its past. Today, Russia stands as the world's largest country in terms of land mass, spanning 11 time zones across Europe and Asia. Its political system, a federal semi-presidential republic, is marked by a unique blend of democracy and a strong central authority. The economy, once dominated by state-owned industries, is now a mixed landscape with a significant presence of private enterprises. Energy, especially oil and natural gas, remain vital to Russia's economic strength, while IT and aerospace industries signify its stride towards a high-tech future. On the global stage, Russia commands influence, being a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council with strong military capabilities. It's a nation that's known for its rich culture, diverse landscapes, and resilient people. Modern Russia, a fusion of its past and present, continues to intrigue and fascinate. So, what have we learned about Russia? From its early history, Russia has been a land of mystery and intrigue. Its vast expanse has seen the rise and fall of empires, the birth of legends, and the shaping of history. We've journeyed through the Tsarist era, a time of opulence and autocracy, where the likes of Peter the Great and Catherine the Great left their indelible marks. We've explored the revolution and the birth of the Soviet Union, a period that shook the world and redefined the course of history. And we've delved into modern Russia, a nation that continues to evolve and assert its influence on the global stage. Through it all, Russia remains a land of contrasts, a country where the past and present coexist in a dynamic dance. A nation that is as complex as it is captivating. Russia, a land of contrasts and a tapestry of history, continues to shape our world in ways we can only begin to understand.